Good evening. We are here at the Record Exchange and we're going to speak with owner and proprietor Gene Haffner. Good evening, Gene.
Hi, how are you?
Gene, you just have a virtual wonderland of music in every format. You have musical instruments. You're probably the mecca for the Midwest when it comes to music lovers. Would that be a fair assessment?
Well, I guess that's one way to put it.
Okay. And Gene, for 2022, what has been the top leading artists or groups that you've seen in sales at your store?
Well, category would be rock. Uh, Top leading album would be Pink Floyd, Dark Side.
Okay.
Right under that would be Fleetwood Mac, Rumors.
Mhm.
Right under that would be Rolling Stones.
Okay.
It just continues on and on, though.
Okay. And speaking of formats, is vinyl still the leading format at your store?
Well, at my store it is. It's always been the leading format here because it's still the best sound. It'll last forever, and you get the full sound. You don't get the full sound on a CD, you get a sampling sound. Plus, every CD ever made will separate one of these days because they're a laminated product. Vinyl will last forever as long as you take care of it.
And as far as the newer artists, let's say 21st century artists, if there's any new groups that you could recommend to geezers, in other words, those of us in the 60s are qualified for Medicare, that we should keep our ears to the ground on and at least give a fair chance.
Well, let me say this first before I answer that question. I would recommend new product to the geezers that you're talking about as reissues. In other words, the music they grew up with, because they can relate to it. And it's being reprocessed on better vinyl, and it sounds better. It's more expensive, that's the problem. But there are a lot of new groups that are on vinyl too, but some of them are so minimal in pressing that they become collectible right off the bat. So they're kind of hard to find.
Okay. And what trend do you see coming up in the next year? Is it country or rock and roll or what? Who are most of your customers? I know you said you sell the most rock. Are most of your customers traditional rock and roll, or are you all over the map?
Well, I'm all over the map. That's my philosophy is if it's sold once, it'll sell again. But the store is set up by category. If you'll notice, the rock category is first because it's the best-selling category for me.
Sure.
Then country, jazz, pop, all the way back to classical.
We encourage everybody in the Midwest area to come and stop by and see your just ginormous selection of musical instruments and musical formats.
Sure.
Thanks for taking time out with us, Gene.
Thank you.
Bye.